Hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty, and the full Atlas passive tree has finally been revealed in all its glory. You can actually do it on the website. I'll put this in the description below. I'll put this in the description below. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to pick. That's up to you. It depends what you enjoy. What I did find slightly interesting is I went through every single passive and the minutia of them, including what was kind of crunched together from the old system, including what we had from Watchstones, and put it in sort of this ridiculous Google sheet that I worked on for like 3 hours. So I have 22 leagues were affected that we previously had. So there's a lot of things in here that we didn't previously have. Examples include the things at the bottom, like the Searing Exarch stuff. We have nothing to compare that to, so there's no point to compare apples to oranges, right? We didn't have Eater of Worlds nodes, no point to compare apples to oranges, but we did have synthesis, we did have strong boxes, so I put all that stuff in this chart. And I just basically objectively showed what was buffed, what was nerfed, what was about the same-ish, and overall, most things were buffed, and most things are about the same-ish, and then about 25% of things nerfed. And the overall gist of all these changes, of all these things here, I think it'll be a lot easier and a lot more streamlined for casual players. But if you ever liked to target farm things specifically, especially things like Abyss bosses, specific bestiary mobs, specific breach mobs, or breach types, harvest bosses, and specific Legion mobs, like going over aspirational content. If aspirational content was your goal, every single piece of that has received a nerf. And I'm not going to go over everything. We'll be here for fucking 3 hours, but I'll just show you a glimpse of what I'm talking about in a sort of breakdown setting. So, for example, if you go to Abyss here, you can click on the overview. I'll have this shit all in the description. You can just click on any of these, and they'll bring you to the thing. So if you click on Breach, you can go right to the Breach sheet. And you can see what we used to have with stones properly rolled and what we new have. A lot of the things are the same. There's a lot of the same things. Some minor changes. For example, like what was Gatekeepers, we basically only lost a 30% chance to spawn a boss, so it's pretty minimal. And what we used to have, the chance to drop Breach Stones, was now tied into within their grasp. But the things that got kind of crazy, and again, like things like Flash Breach are exactly the same. There's also some new things we didn't have before, like this new Contains guy, so that's new. But again, if you're trying to farm things specifically, if you had 4 stones on for farming Chiula, and you had the Watchstone modifier on, so it gets extra 25%, you can have upwards of 500% increased chance to have breaches belong to Chiula. That 500% has now gone down to 30%. So that is a giga nerf for target farming stuff. So if you wanted to target farm things, certain things got way worse. Other things, if you go back to the overview, would go to go to Betrayal, for example. Betrayal pretty much had everything we had before and only new things. So Betrayal got better in almost every single way. The things that were Watchstone available before, things specifically like the chance to drop additional veil items, kind of just were rolled in, but we also gained free things, like more likely to be accompanied by their leaders, dropping a full-on additional veiled item, just 100% chance. So a lot of things just got straight buffed. And again, there's also things that are like basically the same-ish. So Expedition, for example, some of the numbers changed slightly, like the amount of runic monsters in the area from markers that's a little bit less. The quantity of artifacts dropped if you had Watchstones is significantly less, but it's kind of offset by some of the more beneficial things, like regaining 40% explosive range out of nowhere. So this one's basically the same-ish. So again, most things are better or the same, and about a quarter of them are nerfed. Again, for examples of things that were nerfed that specifically target farming aspirational content, one of the bigger ones is Legion, where you lost a chance to include extra generals. You lost, Emblematic is technically better now, but that doesn't matter. You lost an entire sergeant. You lost a 5% chance for rewards. The duration is the same. But the big thing is, again, here's things like, if you rolled stones for Marikath, you can have upwards of 500% chance of increased chance to have Marikath armies. That 500% chance is now down to a 40% chance. So again, drastically harder. If your goal is to farm things like aspirational content, whether it's 5-way wars or specific invitation breach farming, that stuff is way harder to do in solo self-hunt specifically, and will probably be more desirable, I guess, in Trade League. It's hard to say. You can extrapolate the information kind of as you want, but I just kind of plonked all of it together. Overall, I think this update will be, for the vast majority of players, a very large improvement. I suggest, if you want to, you could take a look-see through here. There's a lot of generic things that we didn't previously have. Again, things like scarabs and sextants and shrines. Didn't have those, so we have a lot of new cool stuff. If you want, you could make yourself a little passage tree. You start from the bottom, so don't forget that. If you are working your way up, you do start from the bottom. So if you're trying to reach things like super, super, super high up the top, like this ritual shit, it will take you some time to get there. But yeah, feel free to plot out your tree. There's a lot to be discovered, a lot to be optimized towards your own experience. Don't forget, you're the one having fun. If you enjoy playing a league like Breach, despite it being roughly nerfed overall, play Breach. Whatever you have the most fun doing, doesn't fucking matter, because guess what? You could do it all at once now if you wanted. That being said, don't forget that, instead of having, most of your car parts at one time, we now are working on 6 cars at once, right? Because a lot of the things we have here are less progress specifically, but more wider range progress. So if you actually play for a shorter period of time, you'll make more progress in development over a vast majority of leagues and mechanics, but you won't get as far in any of them. Food for thought. I hope you guys enjoy the league. I hope you definitely check out what a lot of these have here. There's a lot of cool things, a lot of cool new things like these map things. And feel free to make your own tree, share them, don't share them, keep your secrets. It's all whatever you want. This will be in the description below. This will be in the description below. This will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys in Arch Nemesis launch. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. I'm Matt Lighty, and have a good day. Bye-bye.